Hi everyone. I'm going to try and get through the entire 15 minutes, or as close to it as I can. I have 5 children at home, 2 of them including newborns that came home 3 days ago, newborn twins. So, we'll see how far in this we can get or how long I can make this video. Um, I really honestly don't like doing anything like this. I don't like to talk in front of people. I don't like to be on camera. So this is a little bit out of my comfort zone, and we'll see how I do. Um, Reading through Yellow Man, it's a lot of racism, a lot of crudeness, a lot of stuff that was probably still happening today, yet it was still happening back then as well. A lot of what I saw in the very beginning is how even though some characters are dark skinned and they're black, there's also some that are light skinned. Yet having light skinned, you're looked down on by the dark skinned African Americans, but you're also looked down on by the white characters of the play as well. Even though the light skinned characters are seen as having it easy, um, it's really not. They're really getting it from both sides. So it's kind of harder for them to be able to know where they want to go or what they can do. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Um, the play is going on during a time where there is still some segregation between the white and the black people. Uh, but there's also, if you think about it, segregation between the same race themselves. Um, they are People want to marry into the light skinned race or marry a light skinned person, yet light skinned people are seen to have it easy. So it really is kind of confusing to me throughout the play because it's like the dark skinned people look down on the light skinned people, yet the dark skinned people want their children to marry a light skinned person. So it's really kind of confusing how, what they want them to do or what they want their children to do. Um, and to me, that's just a little odd, I guess. Um, and it was also kind of different for me that there were 2 to 3 people playing all of the characters. So there were going to be different voices used. The play at first was very confusing. I had to go through and try and find videos of how the play actually went, just because the first few pages I didn't understand it at all. I had to go back and read it multiple times just because you don't know what voices they are. You don't know um, the how they want you to think about the play. So I had to go through it and watch the videos just to see who they were or how they were portrayed. Also using the Getchy voice, I think is how it's going to be pronounced. It to me, I was reading it as a very southern slang or uneducated. Um, and throughout the play, Alma is trying to not sound Getchy, which to me was more of she didn't want to sound uneducated. She wanted to go to school. She wanted to be able to prove that she was not from that type of person. She had better outsights for herself and for her life and what she wanted to do and how she wanted to be seen. Kind of for me, it was thinking of, or my thought process didn't want to sound poor, I guess is what I was thinking throughout the play. Um, she didn't like when her mom would talk in the Getchy voice of herself. She kind of looked down on herself for talking in a Getchy voice. So she learned how to get rid of that slang or that uneducatedness in her way of speaking. It was also pretty neat to me that this book was a Pulitzer Prize winner in 2002 for drama. I guess I didn't really know much about that award, um, and especially for being such a short play, it really does bring a lot of different aspects into the play. Um, one of my main things with Alma is that she did grow up in South Carolina where this was filmed. She did know that there was other things out there. She kind of transformed and grew up throughout the play. She wanted to change herself, really. So then she started wearing makeup. She started making sure that she had fall clothes and that she had summer clothes, that she wanted to distinguish between the two. She wanted to wear high heels. She wanted to present herself in a way that people wouldn't think that she was from the South, that people wouldn't think that she was uneducated. She changed the way that she talked. She changed the way that she walked. Um, she changed the way that she thought or what she did. She ended up moving to New York so that she could go to school. Um, just basically trying to reinvent herself so she didn't have to end up being stuck in the place where her mom was stuck as well. Um, and really, to me, she just didn't. She wanted to kind of how do you want to say fit in or really change herself, but was she really changing herself for herself, or was she changing herself to fit in with a different type of person? And that's a really hard thing, especially for women that are trying to fit in. Was she really going to be happy with all those changes that she made? And another thing for me and throughout the play too was there was a lot of fighting going on between the two different the race colors, in between the parents and the children. A lot of these different fights and conflicts that were going on, alcohol was a main factor in all of those. Um, Alcohol can really bring out the worst in people, and it seems like that was something that the Getchy people relied on was drinking. Um, Alma's mother was drinking, and she would say, she would verbally abuse Alma. Um, Same with Eugene's father. There was always drinking going on, and at the end of the play, Eugene ended up murdering his father. Yet they did this when they were drinking alcohol. So how much would have changed if they didn't solely rely on drinking to be able to tell the truth serum, as in Eugene's dad. They're telling the truth, but how much of it is really the truth, or how much of it is really just trying to pick because you do have the liquid courage in you to say things that you wouldn't normally say, or you would have a filter on um, if you were sober. So would the outcome of the play or the outcome of what she's showing be different if alcohol wasn't a main source of all of the and fueling all of these fights? Um, there was a lot of verbal abuse going on as well, where maybe it was seen back then as tough love, but you can kind of see how verbal abuse really does affect someone. Um, my the main point of the verbal abuse for me that kind of showed exactly what happened or how it affects people is when Alma and Eugene are making love, and Eugene is only thinking about how beautiful she is, how much he loves her, how much he wants to marry her, how this is the most wonderful experience for him. Yet Alma is thinking the entire time that she's too fat, that she's too black, that she's lumpy, she's not good enough, because this is what her mom's been telling her the entire time. Um, and that's for anybody ever. That shows how much someone's words can really affect you and the outcome. The murder, the murder that Eugene had done, what Alma was thinking, all of that was stemming from verbal abuse from their parents. So was it something that was normal back then that the parents would constantly degrade and berate their children? Um, there's just a lot of questions that I had of this the normalcy for most people around that era or that time, or was this just the play itself. Is this just showing what can happen? Um, and I know this is not going to be as long as it probably should, but I have a twin that is crying, so I enjoyed this play. It was a really interesting read. It was very racy. It was interesting to see how those people and those characters thought. So it was very interesting to me. Thank you.